Good morning, students. Today's lecture it's about gluteal region. Okay. So the gluteal region, so it is a transition between the trunk and the lower extremities. So anatomically the gluteal region, so that belongs to the trunk. Of course, functionally it belongs to the lower extremity. So mainly it includes the rounded posterior buttocks and the lateral hip. Boundaries of the gluteal region. Superiorly it is bounded by the iliac crest. So the iliac crest, the highest point of the iliac crest, so that comes at the level of L4. So this plane is very important because otherwise called supracristal plane. So this plane helps in identifying the L3, L4 vertebrae. So thereby you can do the lumbar puncture. Okay. So to do the lumbar puncture, supracristal plane is very important. So that's about the superior boundary of gluteal region. Medially the gluteal region is of course there comes the gluteal cleft, intergluteal cleft, which is interrupted by the anal opening also. Okay. Laterally greater trochanter. Inferiorly, so there is a gluteal fold. Fold. The gluteal muscles form the prominent majority of the gluteal region. Okay. So you can see the skeleton, the gluteal surface of the hip and the ischium. Okay. So that forms the gluteal surface, and also we have the greater trochanter of the femur. Okay. Ischial tuberosity. So all these the important bony landmarks over the gluteal region. And so we have the important muscle, okay, what is called the piriformis. So the piriformis muscle is considered as the key muscle, okay, in the gluteal region. So you can see the piriformis. So this is the piriformis muscle. Of course, that lies underneath the gluteus maximus. The gluteus maximus, mainly the piriformis is considered as key muscle of the gluteal region. Okay. So why it is considered as gluteal region? So that we'll discuss in the coming slides. Okay. So this is how the ligaments attached to the bony skeleton or the gluteal region. So you can see the sacrotuberous ligament and the sacrospinous ligament. So here comes the sacro. So this is the sacrotuberous ligament, and this ligament, you can see the sacrospinous, and we have the greater sciatic foramen, and below that lesser sciatic foramen. So this area is lesser sciatic, and this big one is greater sciatic foramen. So these two ligaments, mainly the sacrotuberous and sacrospinous, that converts the notches, greater sciatic notch and the lesser sciatic notch into the foramen. Okay. So that's about the the two ligaments converting the notches into the foramen. Okay. So coming to the muscles, the vessels, nerves in the gluteal regions. The main muscle of the gluteal region. So of course that makes the contour of the gluteal region. The largest muscle in the body. So we have gluteus maximus. Okay. So this is the largest muscle responsible for the prominence of the buttocks. Okay. And what is the origin of the gluteus maximus? The gluteus maximus, it arises from the outer surface of the ilium behind the posterior gluteal line, the posterior surface of the sacrum, coccyx, and the sacrotuberous ligament. So these are all the sources of origin for the gluteus maximus. What is the insertion of the gluteus maximus? The insertion of the gluteus maximus, 75% of fibers, they are inserted into the iliotibial tract. So you can see the iliotibial tract in the picture. So this is the iliotibial tract. Here comes the iliotibial tract. Okay. And the 25% of the fibers, so they are inserted into the gluteal tuberosity, which is over the femur. Okay. So that's about the origin, insertion. You can see the sources of origin from the ilium. So behind the posterior gluteal line. Okay. So these are this is the area. Okay. You can see the ilium, the posterior gluteal line, and the fibers coming from here and the sacrum. So they are inserted into the gluteal tuberosity. Okay. So that's about the gluteus maximus. The nerve supply of the gluteus maximus, it is supplied by the inferior gluteal nerve. Okay. So inferior gluteal nerve supplies the gluteus maximus. So the main actions of the gluteus maximus, it is the extensor and lateral rotator of the thigh. Of course, it acts on the hip joint. Okay. So it extends the hip joint and also the lateral rotator of the hip. Okay. And the main function is the extensor, helps to maintain the extension at knee, through the iliotibial tract. Okay. So, that is also for paralysis of this muscle. So, inability to raise the trunk from sitting or stooping positions. That is the gluteus maximus, and the function of the gluteus maximus. So, the paralysis of these muscles that leads to inability to rise, okay, the trunk from the sitting or stooping position. So, that is the function of the gluteus maximus. So, come to the iliotibial tract, there is a the modification of the deep fascia, okay. So, and also there is fascia, tensor fascia lata muscle, okay. The tensor fascia lata arises from the anterior part of iliac crest, anterior superior iliac spine, and the notch, okay. The insertion of the tensor fascia lata inserts into the iliotibial tract, okay. The nerve supply is by the superior gluteal nerve. So, it assists the gluteus maximus in keeping the knee in extended position. So, that is the function of the action of the tensor fascia lata. So, there is a muscle called tensor fascia lata. Okay. So, that is about the tensor fascia lata. And what are the structures that under cover of the gluteus maximus? So, under these headings we are going to discuss the structures on the cover of gluteus maximus. So, we have the muscles, vessels, nerves, bones and joints, the ligaments, bursae. Okay. So, what are the muscles that lies underneath the gluteus maximus? So, we have these are the muscles: the gluteus medius minimus, the reflected head of the rectus femoris, obturator internus with two gemelli, obturator externus, piriformis. So, this is a key muscle of the gluteal region. The quadratus femoris, the origin of the four hamstring muscles from the ischial tuberosity, the insertion of the upper fibers of the adductor magnus. So, these are the muscles that lies underneath the gluteus maximus. So, coming to the vessels underneath the gluteus maximus. So, we have the superior gluteal vessels, inferior gluteal vessels, internal pudendal vessel. Okay. So, these are the branches from the internal iliac artery, ascending branch of medial circumflex femoral artery. And apart from the vessels, we have very important anastomosis underneath the gluteus maximus, the trochanteric anastomosis and the cruciate anastomosis. Okay. So, the first perforator artery also that lies underneath the gluteus maximus. Okay. So, coming to the nerves underneath the gluteus maximus, we have the superior gluteal nerve, inferior gluteal nerve, the pudendal nerve, posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh, the perforating cutaneous nerve, the sciatic nerve, okay, the nerve to quadratus femoris, nerve to obturator internus. So, these are all the nerves that lies under the gluteus maximus. Okay. The bones and joints underneath the gluteus maximus. The bones, we have ilium, ischium with ischial tuberosity, the hip joint, the sacroiliac joint, sacrum and coccyx, the upper end of the femur with the greater trochanter. Okay. So, ligaments, we have these ligaments, important ligaments, the sacrotuberous, sacrospinous and the ischiofemoral ligament. The bursae, we have trochanteric bursa of the gluteus maximus, the bursa above the ischial tuberosity, and the bursa between the gluteus maximus and the vastus lateralis. Okay. So, these are all the structures that lies underneath the gluteus maximus. Okay. And so, the two important muscles. So, we have gluteus medius also, the posterior part covered by the gluteus maximus. So, it arises from the ilium. So, between the iliac crest above and the posterior gluteal line behind, and the middle gluteal line below. Okay. So, insertion, it is inserted into the lateral surface of the greater trochanter, superior gluteal nerve. This gluteus medius is supported the superior gluteal nerve. So, along with the gluteus minimus and tensor fascia lata, so it is a powerful abductor of the hip joint. Okay. The anterior fibers medially rotate the thigh. So, very important in walking and running. It holds the opposite side of the pelvis. So, this point is very important. Just remember this. So, this is very important action of the gluteus maximus. So, it holds the opposite side of the pelvis horizontally, and the foot is off the ground. Okay. So, for example, if your right foot is off the ground, okay, the left side pelvis is okay, it is supported by the right side gluteus medius. So, that is the function. Okay. So, if the right foot is off the ground, the left side gluteus maximus, it supports the right side pelvis. Okay. So, thereby it maintains the horizontal plane of the pelvis. So, that is the function of gluteus medius, and not only gluteus medius, the gluteus minimus also, it does the same function, the same action. So, it arises from the gluteus minimus arises from the outer surface of ilium between the middle and inferior gluteal lines, insert in the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Okay. So, it is also supplied with the superior gluteal nerve. So, with the gluteus minimus and tensor fasciae lata, the powerful abductor of the hip, and the anterior fibers medially rotate the thigh. So, these muscles are considered as the short lateral rotators of the thigh. So, we have piriformis, superior gemellus, inferior gemellus, and quadratus femoris. So, all these muscles considered as the short lateral rotators of the thigh. Okay. So, the piriformis, it is a key muscle of the gluteal region. Okay. It arises from the pelvic surface of the sacrum, second, third, and fourth viscus, sacrotuberous ligament, inserted into the upper border of greater trochanter, leaves the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramen and separates the gluteal vessels and nerves to the superior and inferior. So, that is the reason. So, this is called a key muscle of the gluteal region. So, because above the, so you can see the piriformis here, so it has got upper border or lower border. So, in relation to the upper border, we have superior gluteal vessels and nerves. In relation to lower border, we have inferior gluteal vessels and nerves. Not only the inferior gluteal vessels and nerves. So, in relation to the inferior border of the piriformis, from lateral to medial, we have sciatic nerve, posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh. Okay. Next comes the nerve to quadratus femoris, and then comes the inferior gluteal vessels and nerves. So, then comes the nerve to obturator internus and internal pudendal vessels, and of course, most medially we have pudendal nerve. So, these are the structures that lies that comes in relation to the lower border of the piriformis. So, that is the reason the piriformis is okay, it is termed as the key muscle of the gluteal region. Okay. So, in relation to the lower border and the upper border of the piriformis, we have the neurovascular bundle. So, this of course, it is supplied by the S1, S2 anterior rami, the fibers from the sacral plexus. Okay. You can see here the vessels, the superior gluteal artery, inferior gluteal artery, okay, and the internal pudendal artery in relation to the piriformis. Okay. So, these are the structures. So, through the greater sciatic. So, all these structures, they are coming from the greater sciatic foramina, okay, in relation to the upper and lower borders of the piriformis. Above the piriformis, that is in relation to the upper border of the piriformis, we have superior gluteal vessels and nerves. Below the piriformis, as I told, the sciatic nerve, posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, inferior gluteal vessels and nerves, pin structures, pudendal nerve, internal pudendal vessels, nerve to obturator internus, and nerve to quadratus femoris. Okay. So, these many structures related, okay, related to the lower border or below the piriformis. So, that is why the piriformis is considered as a key muscle. Okay. And what are the structures through the lesser sciatic foramen? Okay. So, the pin structures which emerges from the greater sciatic foramina, soon after it enters the gluteal region, it takes a dip into the lesser sciatic foramen. Okay. So, we have pudendal nerve, internal pudendal vessels, and nerve to obturator internus. Okay. So, that is about the pin structures, the short lateral rotators of thigh, the obturator internus, okay, and so we have the superior gemellus, inferior gemellus, quadratus femoris. So, all these together called short lateral rotators of the thigh. So, come to the Trendelenburg's sign. So, this sign is very important. Okay. So, as I already told, the gluteus medius is very important, that supports the opposite pelvis, okay, the opposite side pelvis. So, for example, if the right leg is off the ground, the left gluteus medius supports the pelvis of the right side. Okay. So, the Trendelenburg's is found in people with weak or paralyzed abductor muscles of hip. So, you know the gluteus medius and minimus are the abductors of the hip joint. So, if any paralysis to this muscle, the paralysis of the gluteus medius and minimus, okay, so that leads to the Trendelenburg's sign. You can see here in the diagram. Okay. When the right leg is off the ground, okay, the left gluteus medius, it is supporting, okay, it is maintaining the horizontal position, okay, the horizontal plane of the pelvis. Okay. So, soon after, if you raise the right leg off the ground, the contraction of the gluteus medius and minimus, so that maintains the horizontal position, okay, or it supports the pelvis. Okay. It supports the pelvis and it prevents the pelvis from the sagging down. Okay. So, in case the paralysis of this muscle, so in this diagram, you can see here the muscle is paralyzed. So, when the right leg is off the ground, because there is the paralysis here, okay, so there is a sagging down. So, it dips down. the right pelvis it dips down. So, that leads to the negative, okay, I mean positive Trendelenburg's sign. Is it clear? So, that is about the Trendelenburg's sign. Okay. So, these muscles are very important to maintain the horizontal plane of the pelvis when the one leg is off the ground. Okay. So, that is gluteus medius and minimus. Okay. So, because of the paralysis, as the opposite side, opposite pelvis is it is taking a dip down. While walking also, the gait also changes because of the paralysis of gluteus maximus. So, what is that gait called? Trendelenburg's gait. Okay. So, it is otherwise called lurching gait. It is an abnormal gait, okay, as with walking caused by weakness of the abductor muscles of lower limb, gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. The patient have, okay, stand on the one leg and assess if the pelvis drops. So, because of the dropping of the pelvis, the gait also changes. Okay. So, thereby Trendelenburg's sign positive. So, the intramuscular injections in the buttocks must be given into the upper and outer quadrants of the buttock. Okay. So, to avoid the injecting into the sciatic nerve. So, this is one of the most common causes of the litigation against the medical personnel. Okay. So, you should take proper care while injecting the injections over the gluteal regions. It should be on the upper and outer quadrants of the buttocks. Okay. Otherwise, it will damage the sciatic nerve, the very important nerve which is underneath the gluteus maximus muscles. That is the most lateral. Okay. So, in relation to the piriformis. Okay. So, that is about the gluteal region, and concentrate on the gluteus maximus and the structures under the cover of gluteus maximus. Trendelenburg's sign is very important. Okay. And of course, the physiotherapy management in the Trendelenburg's sign also. You just concentrate on the anatomy of the anatomical basis of Trendelenburg's sign. Okay. Thank you for your patience listening.